Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play the Messenger. In the last part we got to the end of the Fire Mountain in Panic, and now it's time for us to enter the Voodoo Heart, the boss fight, quote-unquote, against the Dark Messenger. This is an interesting attempt at a boss fight in that we're technically racing the Dark Messenger to the end of each of the rooms to attack the Voodoo Idol. The bars on top represent both our and the Dark Messenger's HP, or more accurately, our Greed Demon's HP. You have 6 races to win, but if you lose 6, you die. It's not a permanent game over, though, despite our Greed Demon dying in that case. There's a reason the monk at the end of the last part sent Quillbill out to help us. She'll teleport us back to before it all happened. This is an interesting challenge, as, technically speaking, there's a lot more rooms than you'd think. There's a room for every time you've lost and won at that specific interval. So there's at least, like, 40, maybe 30 rooms that you can go through here. This is actually my second take at this particular gameplay recording, though. It makes me sad because I almost got a perfect on the first one. I just barely missed it. If you die, it's counted as an automatic loss. Now, something else I should go over is the deal that was mentioned in the last part. You might recall when we assembled the mask that is the ultimate reward for getting all the items here in in Picnic Panic, he mentioned the deal. If you transfer in or create a New Game Plus file with the mask, you can talk to it in any of the shops and choose to agree to the deal. What the deal does is that it triples your attack power and doubles your health, making you resemble the Dark Messenger visually as well. However, you have to quote-unquote sacrifice Corbel to do that. So if you die in the deal mode, you are dead permanently. I think you still go back to the beginning of New Game Plus 1. I forget if you can not be in the deal mode after that. I think you're just permanently in it in that cycle until you do another New Game Plus file. It's an interesting way to play the game, and honestly, it's probably relatively feasible on at least the original New Game Plus. But anything beyond that, even with double health, that's a bit much. Because death is a big part of the Messenger playing it. So make sure that you learn your stuff if you're trying that out. Also notable, there is an achievement for getting a perfect score on this, but I don't think I've ever not finished this race without being at this exact world or this exact level format, because it is hard. And that's the end of that. It's annoying, but it's a fun kind of annoying, I suppose. Also, there's no new dialogue in the shop until at least after this next portion. And so the messenger wins the race. It's over, demon. Your plan has failed. Release the hostages now. Now, let's not be hasty. You merely played into my hand once again, ninja. For the Dark Messenger's full potential to be unleashed, it first needed to be untethered from its greed demon. Oh, how I've been waiting for this moment. Now, my Dark Messenger, I reckon it's time for us to do the thing! Oh, that thing! Ah, I knew it! Uh-oh, this is actually pretty bad. I'll be right back. I get all of that, but even if the scroll had somehow been copied too, that doesn't mean they should be able to... Well, if it isn't the shopkeeper. Okay, that's not gonna do it all. What, surely if we do the thing we can defeat it? Oh, without a doubt, it's just the head on this guy. Well, why don't we do the thing then? Listen, I'm all for fighting bulky bosses, but fashion statements are something I take very seriously. One moment, please. Alright, it's showtime! Fight! Final boss of Picnic Panic is a punch-out fight against... This has a name, I think it's like Barma'Thazel or something like that. It's Barma'Thazel because he did the thing. It's outright a punch-out battle. There's star KOs you need to get. There's super meters on the bottom that fill as you do damage. You just need to dodge the attacks in the direction you seem to be going. Punches left, dodge left, punches right, dodge right, unless it's a far one from the left or right like that, in which case you need to dodge the opposite direction. If you've ever played Punch-Out, you're probably going to do well here. If you haven't, well, you're going to have some problems. On my first playthrough, I know I had some problems with this fight. Thankfully, it's not one and done. There are 3 health bars in just the first of 3 victories. And thankfully, your super meter is relatively consistent at being a one-hit KO. So if you just take your time, don't mash the buttons, pace out a bit like a rhythm, like instead of being punch, 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 you probably want to do punch, punch, punch. And hopefully you should do well enough. I like this fight, but on my first playthrough, it gave me some trouble. I believe if you've died to this fight, you obviously are sent back to the most recent checkpoint. But I believe the shopkeeper in the shop will give you more of a guide on how to actually do this fight. Like if it's blocking high, hit low, vice versa. I've never looked back at that dialogue. And also, don't be like me for like the first 2/3 of this fight. Remember that you have 2 punch buttons. Square is the left fist. I believe it's X. Or is it A is the right fist? So if you need to alternate your fists, do that as well. Especially if you get the first victory whenever you stun Barma'Thazel, he does get into a pattern of moving left and right in his stunned animation, so you need to alternate your punches there. This is a really cool fight, and if they ever do the other 2 potential DLCs they had planned for this as part of the trilogy of Barma'Thazel's Revenge, I hope they would be able to top this or bring this back in interesting ways. I'm honestly curious if anyone's ever tested to see if that is a real one-hit kill. I doubt they have, just because it's easiest just to use it as soon as you get it. But frankly, I never tested it myself either, so I can't really talk now, can I? Still, I gotta admit, looking back, this game has some funny out-of-nowhere genre shifts. Even beyond the Manfred shooter segment, we got the whole surfing minigame and then this. It's amazing. It's just hilarious. Also, they really nailed the animations on Barma'Thazel here for, like, giving him good tells and reactions to your punches. It's really well-detailed animation and sprite work. Mind you, that kind of describes the whole game, don't it? And he's down for the count! It's worked! The voodoo energy is finally loose and ready to be absorbed. What is he on about? Didn't we just knock this guy out? Behold, as the magic seed ripens before your very eyes. Whoa, I want to see it like that! I can deal with whatever you have to throw at me, demon. Oh, you won this round, messenger. But I will return. Well, this takes care of that. Oh, I can't wait to see what he does with the seed. What should we do in the meantime? Could you maybe get us out of here? It's about time we had that picnic. We're starving. Yes, let's all go to the picnic. Yay! Thank you for joining us at the picnic. Well, thanks for the invite. This is amazing. Our voices are the same. If you ever need to measure anything, you can use me. From the bottom of my shoes to the tip of this tape, I measure exactly 112 centimeters. Is it true you have to leave soon? Voodkin Island's so much fun. Ew, what an adventure. Yeah, we only organized this picnic because we wanted permission to drink a little juice boxes. Totally worth it in the end. That fight was so sick. We should do the thing again sometime. So, you said you would tell me a story after everything was resolved? Oh? Yeah, I suppose I did. Do you want to hear a story then? Yeah. Alright, here's one for you. It's a story about a story, or more precisely about a friend of mine's relation to it. Here we go. There once was a little girl who had a favorite fairy tale. She couldn't get enough of it. Every week she wanted to hear it again. And much like the dysfunctional patterns we recreate in our lives, I bet part of her was hoping that by listening to the same story endlessly, its ending would eventually change. Because you see, she only truly liked the first half of that fairy tale. It went something like this. Once upon a time, there lived a monstrous beast in a castle who kept a farmer prisoner in his dungeon. One day, the farmer's daughter went to the beast's castle to offer herself as a prisoner in exchange for her father's freedom. The father being quite a selfless dad, and the beast being quite a reasonable bully, everyone instantly agreed. At first, very scared and put off by the beast's appearance, she quickly learned to look past the surface and became quite fond of him. Far from being a blatantly romanticized case of Stockholm Syndrome, her feelings towards him grew into genuine love. But the beast, as it soon turned out, was actually a beautiful prince who had the misfortune of being turned into a monster by an evil witch. A spell which could only be broken by receiving a kiss from his true love. The power of this relationship helped him reconnect with the good within him, and his past as a captor was never revisited or brought into question after he became the farmer's son-in-law. They all lived happily ever after. The end. Yeah, everybody knows that one. Of course, but remember, it's about my friend. She didn't like the story so much past a certain point. Why do you think that is? Maybe she thinks beasts are cooler than humans? That's a fair guess. All she told me is that she didn't like the prince's voice anymore once he was returned to his human form. But she is a clever one, and I can't shake the feeling that part of her thought it didn't really make sense that someone who had the depth and maturity to look past that surface will receive a reward as superfluous as good looks. Or maybe that's where the whole deal became awfully suspicious. If you think about it, there's always something sketchy about apparent perfection. Maybe the appearance of a beast, showcasing hideousness so openly, at least offers the security of letting you know what you're in for. A trait so evident and so repulsive, it can only be uphill from there for the one who would want to take a closer look. Whereas with a perfect front, all that is left is to slowly deconstruct this perfection by slowly noticing flaws. It is a rare and valuable thing for people to look past the surface, so why would it make sense to offer them something shallow material in response? I find it also to convey a very important message, a message that you need to pay close attention to notice, but which is nonetheless written everywhere between the lines. Contrast carries beauty. The colorful shirt of the introvert. The pack of watermelon bubblegum in the old lady's purse. The melodic background harmonies of the death metal song. The cute earrings of the stone-faced. The smell of dust kicking up when sudden rain combines with the bright sun on a hot summer day. While those may benefit from paying attention to more stories, some people preserve these things instinctively. Seeing how curious and captivated you are, I'd wager you belong in the second group. And when it comes to my friend, sometimes I like to think that, to her, a better title for this fairy tale would have been The Beauty in the Beast. I'm not sure what to make of all of this. It's just my special way of saying Jay Kuya to that little girl. Hopefully she enjoyed this more than if I had sung Happy Birthday to her. And as to you, Messenger, I hope that in the end you won't overthink your adventure would have been better without a bonus tropical side quest. Anyway, vacation's over. I should go and pack now. See you on the A side. Alright, guess we're ready to go then. This party isn't bad, but I'll need to get back to my lab soon. Let me know when you're ready. Leave Vodkin Island? Yeah. And that is the Picnic Panic DLC. The credit sequence is a little bit of a revisit of the open sea section where you can get some extra time shards on the water. Picnic Panic is a really strong DLC, I feel, as it does what the original base game did best in its linear platforming, and then just exemplifies it with some really interesting scenarios and boss fights. Do I think there's some structural problems with it? Yeah, I actually don't like the Dark Messenger fight that much because I think it's oddly precise for the rest of the game. But the music's great, the extra new graphics are great, the humor is still top-notch. It's really well done. I just hope we eventually see the latter two planned DLCs because there is a cutscene after these credits, and it just makes me hope that we get the eventual second and third because of it. Meanwhile, atop the Searing Crags... Yo, it's kind of crazy, Kolos. This new diet may be so flexible. So I see, Sources. To think we are relying on brute strength alone for all this time. We should train more assiduously, Kolos, Sources. I agree completely, Kolos. Good day to you, Cyclopses. Were you waiting for someone, Sources? I have no idea who's under that cloak, Kolos. State your business, Wanderer. Pardon the intrusion. I was looking for experienced botanists, and rumor has it you two are the best this island has to offer. Yeah, this guy's correct, Kolos. Let's see what he wants, Zeus's. What's it to you, Wanderer? You see, I've come across a very rare magic seed, which, given proper care, is bound to grow into a beautiful plant. Huh? What's your second, Kolos? We got to see that seed, Zeus's. You have our attention, Wanderer. Show us. With pleasure. Here. Did I forget to mention it'll give herbs that can be used for cooking? We are still planting the seed, Sources. Kawabanga Kolos, what could go wrong? Say no more, Wanderer. We will grow the magic seed. Cliffhanger that hopefully gets resolved. Well, that was fun. Yeah, I must admit I'll miss the beach. So, yeah? Will the adventure continue sometime later? That's not up to me. Feel free to replay Picnic Panic as many times as you want, though. But with that, I'm going to end this off here. Thank you guys for watching, and in part 22, we're finally entering the music box for Endgame. See you guys then.